Hello, Cancer. This is your December 2019. So, Cancer, the first card that I got for you guys is the Nine of Pentacles. With the Nine of Pentacles, Cancer, this is telling me that you've either been hearing things, hearing rumors, dealing with hearsay. For some of you, it is a message that is coming into you, meaning this is going to be a message maybe about other options that your partner may have had. This is also messages that may come to you in reference to a family member. There also could be messages that come through in reference to employment. Some of you are definitely seeking employment and not knowing if you're going to get a job or get the offer made to you that you went and applied for. I do feel like it is very positive for you in the month of December to start something new, to gain new employment, also for new relationships to begin. It does feel like as well your money is going to be coming in almost heavily. It's like blessings are coming toward Cancerians for financial gain. So that is one very good card for you guys. The next card that came up for you guys is the Eight of Pentacles. With the Eight of Pentacles, Cancerians, you are putting the work in. You have been. There is no doubt. Sorry about that. There is no doubt about it. It is a main contribution, not only to your family or for some of you, it's about a certain goal that you're trying to reach. But for some of you, it is just to survive. Some of you may not at this time, even though you are putting the work in, you may not feel like you're being noticed at work. You may feel like your boss is not appreciating what you do. For some of you, you go over and above to even help coworkers to either make their quota or be able to complete a certain job specification or a certain job that needs to be done before the end of your shift. Whoever that is for, those blessings will come through. Your karma will come back to you in a very positive way. For some of you, the Seven of Swords comes up. The Seven of Swords, Cancer, talks about somebody taking what was theirs and walking away. So if you were in a relationship, you may decide that you wanted to just take your things and go. You didn't want anything else to do with a certain person. Or for some of you, you may have been left out in the cold. Somebody took everything that they brought to the relationship and then some. And it's like they took even more than what they should have. For some of you, you may have had a separation, a divorce, a breakup, and either you got more than you should have or they got more than they should have, depending on, the person who's reading this, or who I'm reading this for, I should say. But definitely there is somebody who is looking back to make sure that maybe nobody is keeping count or keeping track, or somebody's going to go over some financial statements to see what money may have been taken. Some of you may be dealing with some type of financial institution, whether it's PayPal, your bank, a credit union, a credit card, the Cash App, whatever. Some money may be missing from you. Check your paychecks. Make sure the right deductibles have been taken out. Some of you just take your check and roll. You don't even check to see that everything calculates up properly, because somebody may be having a mistake with their employer. And you may be able to contact, like, for instance, a agency like wages, wage and hour, through your state or county, mostly state, I think, to find out if you can get the money back that's been taken that shouldn't have been taken from you. Some of you may be overpaying in some area as well. It may have to do with phone bills. It may have to do with electric. It may have to do with cable. But whatever it is, check your finances. Check your bills. Don't just assume that they got it right, because everyone is human. There is human error. For a lot of you, with the Two of Pentacles, it speaks about Cancerians looking to find a balance. I think that 2019, up till this point in December, you have found a lot of inconsistencies. You have also found a lot of unequalness, meaning somebody may not have met you in a relationship the same way that you brought things to the table. Somebody may be lacking in a certain area. Now, this could be you lacking. Listen, you're not free from everything as well, but it could be you lacking, meaning you're not doing everything that you could do, or it could be your partner who's lacking. Maybe they're not doing everything they can do for this relationship to get it off the ground, or to make it better, or to make it become more stable. Somebody may be making false promises to you. It's kind of like, I always say, getting an offer for a lick and a promise, but yet the talk comes, but the actions never show up. So you keep waiting and waiting for somebody to do what they say they're going to do, and yet here we are in December, and they still haven't done it. So how much longer are you going to wait, Cancer? For some of you, you are finding a balance in a certain situation. For some of you, things are going to get much brighter. Things are going to be much easier for you to control. I also feel like that you're going to have the opportunity to go back and forth on certain things, or you're going to have the opportunity to build something up from the ground up. Some of you may be taking over a family business, or going to help out a family member with their business. Some of you may decide to relocate in the month of December. It also feels very strong that some of you may be receiving flowers. You may be receiving some type of a gift, almost like an apology. So something may come in the form of a gift as an apology to you. For some of you, there's going to be a false accusation made. Somebody may say either A, that you said something that you didn't, B, that you did something that you didn't, or C, say you were at a certain place at a certain time when in fact you was never there. So whoever's going to be dealing with that particular situation, you will have receipts from different places, whether it's the car wash, whether it's a convenience store, the grocery store. You will have receipts with a date and time to prove that you were no way possible to be doing what they said you were doing, because you have a receipt to prove your whereabouts and it wasn't where they said. Or you may find a receipt from your partner in their pocket as you're looking through, and you may find something that will give you an answer to a certain date and time that you were curious about. Some of you have had very strong instincts, and you're following your intuition, that feeling that you have, knowing that something's not right, but you can't prove anything. You will get the answer that you need to prove that you're not nuts. A lot of you feel like every time you confront your partner with a situation or an occurrence, they find a way to get an excuse to get out of it. And some of you are kind of to the point where you're saying that this just doesn't make sense. Every time I come up with something or can prove something, they come out with some type of manipulation and can tell me, no, it wasn't there, I wasn't there, blah, 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 blah. Or I was there for this, not for that. And a lot of you are just accepting it because you really don't want to know that answer. You really don't want to know that this person was doing something shady that they shouldn't have been doing. So be careful with all that. There is going to be, for Cancerians for the month of December, definitely like a tree, like new growth. It is going to show that you guys are very adamant about taking control over something. Cancerians have been going back and forth with a certain relationship, a certain person, and you're finding that it's not feasible anymore. It's not doable anymore. I feel like you're getting mentally and emotionally exhausted, which is then making you physically exhausted. Some of you can't understand why you don't have the energy, you don't have the willpower, you don't have the desire to go here, go there, do this or that, because you're even wanting to get a part-time job, maybe for supplemental income, and yet you feel like you're just too tired to do it. And a lot of it has to do with your mental exhaustion. So I want you guys to be really careful, not allowing anybody to steal your joy or your happiness. Cancerians for the month of December. On another note, a lot of you have been single for a while, and you've kind of adapted to that lifestyle, but now it's time to allow yourself to get out and to um, experience the dating scene again. No, I'm not saying that you have to go hang in a bar. I'm not saying that you have to get on a dating site. I know a lot of you shake your head like, you don't trust those sites. There's a lot of crazy people on there, and there is. I mean, I'm sure there's some good people, just like yourself, that want to get on there to try to find somebody and meet somebody. But at the same time, everybody is skeptic because of the fact that there is a lot of bad in this world as well as good, but there's a lot of people out there who just don't have it. Their marbles are just up there, like they got marbles in their brain. So be careful who you trust. Okay? If you're meeting somebody on a blind date or you're being set up, make sure you stay in a public area. Don't have them pick you up at your house. Don't allow them to follow you back home. Be careful what you do, okay? Always pay attention to your surroundings. I say it all the time. For some of you Cancerians, yes, your partner is definitely thinking about you and missing you. Your partner is wanting to communicate, but their pride is going in front of them, so they're not allowing that to happen. For some of you, your partner's being very stubborn, and they're still angry, and they're pointing the finger at you, acting like you're the one who did something, but in fact, it's not you. It is not you. I'm not saying that, there's always, everybody has their own share, right? Everybody has to own their own shit. But this particular situation, for some of you, was not brought on by you. If somebody chose to cheat, then they chose to do it. It wasn't an accident. They didn't make a mistake. It was a conscious choice that they decided to do. They wanted to take a risk, knowing that it could hurt you, but they were so selfish and conceited and only worried about their own feelings that they didn't think about what it would do to you if you found out. For some of you, you did in fact find out. And now you have to figure out how to either get past this and forgive them or turn around and walk away. So Cancerians have a lot of choices and decisions to make in the month of December. Somebody also may be having a baby this month. And 18 comes up very, very strong. So, or maybe you had a child already in the month of December. But it feels like there is a celebration, there is a new birth, there is a new beginning, there is a fresh start. So, it's not all negative. This is definitely not a negative reading for Cancerians. It's not. And yes, you're going to go through maybe some mini tower moments, not big ones, but enough to ruffle your feathers, enough to make you uncomfortable, but enough to wake you up and get you back on track. So sometimes, like when you drive down the highway, and if you veer off a little bit and the road makes a really loud noise telling you, hey, pay attention, don't be falling asleep driving because you're starting to go off the road here a little bit. The same thing happens with the tower moments. It is a way to keep you in alignment. Okay, so, don't fret about things like that. Don't worry about when things happen or things don't go your way. Sometimes they're not supposed to. Sometimes what you think should happen right now, or you think somebody should return right now, wouldn't work out very well for you. You have other things that you need to tend to, but you're not looking at that. I want you to try to focus on yourself, and I want you to try to focus on the opportunities that are in front of you. I want you to reach for every single goal. Take those risks to get to that higher level in your employment. Don't be afraid to reach and ask for a job that you need. All right? So with that being said, this is pretty much your December 2019. I will see you soon on my lives.